Hello, welcome. Have you ever tried folding watercolour paper to then make your own greeting cards and you get those annoying creases? Yeah, it's not good. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So I've got my paper here, I've got a cutting board here, and the first thing I'm going to do is just measure where the centre of the card is. So I'm going to measure where I want the fold to go. So I've just got a normal ruler here. This piece of paper is 26 centimetres long, and half of 26, there's a bit of maths here for you, half of 26 is 13 centimetres. So I'm just going to mark out 13 centimetres on this side. I'm going to turn it over and then mark 13 centimetres on the other side. So this paper is 100% cotton paper, it's Bao. It's £140 or 300 GSM. So it's really great for high quality painting watercolours, but not for folding. I've got here, it's a bit fiddly, I've got here one of those precision craft knives, and we're going to just score the paper. So I'm using one where it's not going to cut through it, it's just going to score the paper so that it makes the fold easily. Secure that safely, be really careful. It shouldn't cut the paper. Hang on a minute, I'm just doing that. Oh, that's a bit embarrassing, I've done it the wrong way. So there we go. So once you've got your craft knife, if you haven't got one of these, just normal scissors is absolutely fine. I asked my husband, have you got a metal ruler? And he gave me this monstrosity of a ruler. But anyway, ideally use a metal ruler, not a plastic ruler, because the knife can cut through the plastic. And we're scoring the paper. What that means is we're just marking the paper so that it folds nice and neatly. We're not going to cut through the paper. So this particular knife, this particular blade, it won't cut through the paper if I just do the line once. So don't do your fold yet, because if you fold it over, you're going to get that crease. So just line the edges up like so. Make sure the corners are touching and try and do it as neatly as possible. Don't put your hand over this. I'm going to use this bit of tool, which is a leaf blade. If you haven't got one of these, the back end of the scissors will be fine, or even like a palette knife. What you don't want to do is use your hand to press it down completely, because every time I've done that, I can't get a really nice, crisp, sharp edge. And then I'm using this leaf blade just to make that fold nice and neat. I hope that's made sense, and I hope that's shown you how simple it actually is to fold a thick piece of paper. And then you can open it out, make sure you paint on the right side, and then we're going to paint on this in a second because I need to do a birthday card. So this particular paper is part of the Bao block of paper. So I'm just picking off these little sticky bits that are on the edges of there. And then you've got a nice, clean, crisp edge. Do you see what I mean? And if you want to remove those little pencil lines that I did just to mark out the centre, I'm just using a putty rubber just to get rid of those bits of pencil markings. And then we are going to paint a really easy transparent flower, and we're going to make this into a nice birthday card, a nice greeting card. Okay, so I've taped down the card or watercolour paper with some masking tape, and we're just going to do some light, loose petals. And I've picked a colour I can't pronounce, so here goes. Mauve. I don't know how you say it. I bought this colour thinking it's really beautiful, really like a lilac, really gorgeous colour. And it says on the little tiny pan, mauve, M-A-U-V-E. I'd love to know how you pronounce it, but you can't tell me on YouTube. So I'm on TikTok and I'm on Instagram at Bloomartbysw. by SW. Send me how you would say it. I'm just going to call it like a lilac, pink, purpley, a light pinky purpley lilac colour. It's absolutely gorgeous though. I'm using a silver black velvet brush, size 4, so not too big, and I'm using the shape of the brush to create the petals. We're going to do a transparent flower here. It ends up looking like a lotus flower, and I've just created those petals. I'm using some green. I'm using Winsor Newton mauve. It just sounds so weird when I say it. I've mixed up some yellow and blue. In my palette I've got here is Senolia and Winsor and Newton colours, which I've made up the palette myself. And I'm just adding the stem and a leaf here because we're going to keep that quite nice and light and watery as well. And we're going to come back and add another layer. So this is a bit later on in the day. I've come back to it and we're going to add another layer. Make your paint a bit more intense, but not too much. Still quite light and watery. Do you see what I mean? This beautiful lilac, purpley, light purple pink colour. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And we're just going to add another petal in between the two petals that we have just done. And we're going to do that again on the other side. Do you see how I'm creating the petal using the brush of the petal? Using the brush to create the petal. It's the brush that's doing the hard work in the sense of creating that petal for you. And you're just adding it up at the bottom and just creating these little wispy bits just to give it a little bit of movement. And I'm just going to join the bottom of the flower up to the stem because I left a bit of a gap, and I'm going in with the green a touch darker, so I added a bit more of that blue just to make it a touch darker. And then we're going to add that to the bottom of the leaf as well, just to give that a bit of definition and a bit of shape and interest and value to that leaf as well. I feel like we can add another petal here. So I'll show you exactly how I use the brush. So turn your hand so that the belly of the brush opens up a tiny bit and it automatically creates your petal. I hope that makes sense. And then you can use the point of the brush just to make the end of the petal join up to the rest of the flower. And I'm so sorry the filming didn't work when I added some of the gold. The centre of the flower, I just made that a bit darker and just added some smaller petals and some tones to the leaf and the stem, just some darker greens to that as well. I also used the edge of the masking tape to create a straighter border with the gold. If you want to check out the link in the description box, there's some more handmade greeting cards that you can check out. And I also added some splatter gold as well. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. YouTube recommends you watch this video, so why not take a look?